everybody, welcome to the garage. I hope you're well, I hope you're happy, and I hope you'll spend some time with us here in the Court of Public Opinion. Peter, you okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Gary, you're all right?
Long live the King, Jeremy.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Good rains. I tell you what, it came down today in Adelaide. I hope it's getting out to where it is really needed, and God, it's needed just about everywhere, of course. Snow's falling on the Alps. Roads are closed. You heard about that? 13 people had to be rescued, dug out of their cars, wild and woolly.
Isn't that fabulous bad news?
Well, look.
There's a good side of that one.
A few days into winter and it's here with a vengeance. And indeed, happy birthday to King Charles.
Yes, indeed.
Happy birthday to King Charles. Now, everyone has a glass. We're recording this on Monday afternoon for posting on Facebook Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. So this is 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon, the King's birthday. So to you, sir, Pete, and of course the 830 recipients of the King's birthday honours. Congratulations to you all. Oh, golly, showbiz. All those lists are somewhat controversial every time. But anyway, there were show business people, a former Prime Minister, but they always get a gong after they've left office, sports people, business, activists, scientists. We all know people who should be nominated, quiet achievers, who don't sort of blow their own bags, bugles. It's a very easy process, and it's very worthwhile. I was saying to one of my guests on the Friday show, you know, around the dining room table, jeremycordeaux.com, to give it a plug. Annette Brodie was her name. She was from a little outfit that I found in Sydney called Reconnect. And I said, after she told me the story, I said, you should be nominated for an Order of Australia. Now, this was because she started a business that reconditioned or rebirthed old telephones, computers, laptops, tech, for people who needed it but couldn't afford it. And she's done it for tens of thousands of people. Wow. Now, I am going to nominate her because that is a really worthwhile thing. And when I said it to her, she said, yes, nominate me. I'd love it. And I will. Sweetheart, I will. Prince William has done an interview with the wonderful Sir David Attenborough, all to do with the upcoming meeting in Europe to support the oceans of the world, and my God, do they need our support. As if the plastic pollution and all of the rest of the pollutions in the ocean, if that isn't enough. And we've talked about this before here in the Court of Public Opinion, but these ships, they're mostly Chinese, with industrial strength vacuum cleaners that, believe me, suck up everything in the water and on the ocean floor. Now, this will be a test of the integrity of these very vocal, very public conservationists. All you have to do, don't wring your hands, just ban these vessels. Ban these industrial fishing ships. None of this. Oh, these struggling third world countries, they need to eat. United Nations crap that has allowed this criminal vandalism to continue for years. Now, the Prince and Attenborough are probably far too gentlemanly to say the sort of things I've just said. But I've been talking about these ships, these disgusting ships, for years. Nothing is ever done. Out of sight, out of mind. What else is around? Oh, our state budget handed down. I don't know why they hand down budgets. Why do they hand the budget down? Anyway, they handed a pile of papers down last week to us. We'll probably never get to read them in any detail. Probably no one will. Still, no attempt for these people to live within our means, or their means, $49 billion worth of debt. Cost of living, but no mention of the cause. The federal government's, the Labor government's renewables policy, because the cost of electricity is reflected in the cost of everything. Law and order is apparently the big thing in this budget. Health is going backwards. You know, they're funny. They won't, at the last election, because, oh, we'll fix the ramping. Never mentioned. They don't want to talk about that. I remind you that we spent almost 5,000 hours being ramped at Adelaide hospitals last month. 5,000 hours. Can you imagine that in the back of an ambulance? Chris Picton, who's the minister, should get the sack. Ministerial responsibility. Now, it's not all his fault, but just look at him. I don't believe he's competent. Why is he there? Is it the factions? He hasn't and cannot, it would seem, deliver. It's that simple. Oh, and I love this. The head of the credit union on the news on Friday night said this. I love this. Straight-faced, straight to camera. That debt isn't an issue. The government can raise taxes and pay it off. What a stupid comment. Unutterably stupid. Just raise taxes and pay it off. It's a great socialist policy, isn't it? I don't understand the riots in Los Angeles. I don't. I really don't. Mostly illegal immigrants from Mexico. In fact, waving Mexican flags, screaming, "We are Mexican!" Well, with the flag and the patriotism, what's the problem? Go home. You are patriotic Mexicans. Don't burn cars, disrupt life in a foreign country, which you entered illegally. What is the point? If Mexico is so great, why aren't you there? Riot police and early yesterday the National Guard. It's the first time in, I think, 60 years that the National Guard has been brought out without being called for by the governor of the state involved. Regardless of what the media says, this is playing to the president's base. They'll love him for this. He was elected on the promise that he would deport illegals. And importantly, it's a diversion. It really is. Forget about Musk. This is the real issue. Let's look over here. This is the real issue. And he'll probably get away with it. I still don't know about Trump. But I'll show you something in a minute that is really interesting. Demonstrations, speaking of demonstrations here in Australia over the death of Kumanjai White, it's a sad story, young disabled Aboriginal man in an Alice Springs supermarket. A sad and avoidable event. Store security allegedly caught him shop stealing. I refuse to call it shoplifting. Call it for what it is, shop stealing. Openly putting items down the front of his shirt. A struggle ensued. Two off-duty police officers took charge. The next thing we know is the guy's dead. No doubt there'll be an inquiry. Whether that satisfies the Aboriginals who are demonstrating their anger, not only in Alice Springs, but Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane. I don't think there was one here in Adelaide. I don't know what to say. I really don't. Aboriginals are absolutely overrepresented in the prison system. Now this is the question. Is it because of an inherent bias against them, a prejudice, or is it because they commit more crime? Are they basically antisocial? Alice Springs, Tennant Creek, when I was doing the evening show on 5DN, I used to get a lot of people from, because the AM signal at night is so much stronger and they can pick up the radio stations, AM stations all over the country in the outback. I used to get a lot of calls from places like Tennant Creek and dozens of other outback towns. They're all out of control, a lawless embarrassment. This is obviously not all Aboriginals. But in these towns and elsewhere, they ask that their laws, customs and culture be respected. Is it too much to ask them to do the same for us? Mutual acceptance and respect. The project, I think I can safely talk about this today. The project on Channel 10, of which I am not a fan, will be scrapped at long last. It has been, I think it's fair to say, a ratings failure for the money that's been spent on it and the promotion that it's been given. But they've persevered with it. God, why? Why? On commercial television and radio, left-wing shows never work. That is the jurisdiction of the ABC. They have that audience locked in, rusted on. Face it. Are you listening, 5AA? Prop Track said on the weekend, this weekend just gone by, rental affordability has never been worse. Well, we probably don't need to be told that. But it went on, the story, to say, never in our history has it been this bad. And Australia, and this surprised me, Adelaide in particular, is the most expensive real estate on the planet. Wow. If you've got some, I guess you'd be rubbing your hands together. If you want some, you'd be feeling a little despair. You probably won't see this in any other media, but the ship called the Morning Midas. You can probably Google it, the Morning Midas. It is a car transporter. It has caught fire in the Pacific with 3,000 electric cars on board. The ship has been abandoned, but is still afloat, drifting, smoking, flaming hulk that it is, a hazard to navigation, and yet another warning of the inherent danger of EVs. One event like this, I reckon, would be the equivalent to 12 months of Australia's emissions savings. Down the drain! So why do we bother? And that with the odd volcano? For heaven's sake. Oh, these people are so dumb and stupid. These idiots are saving the world one lithium-ion battery at a time. Not. And just on EVs, Porsche has halted production of their most popular electric car, which is the Taycan, T-A-Y-C-A-N, I think, the Taycan, over fears the battery could catch fire. Well, of course it could. Now, I'm not saying that all of this is going to kill the electric vehicle, but I hope it will cause, in the face of negative publicity, more research and development into safer vehicles. At the moment, they deny the stories and they try to bury them from your view. That will not make the problem go away. But the time bomb aspect of EVs, together with the high cost of insurance, appalling resale value, lack of charging stations, and you've basically got a product on life support and in denial. Sorry, Maria. I say Maria because Maria rings the Friday program and she has 2 electric cars. I don't know, Maria, I don't know. Now, I've got to show you this. I've been sort of saving this up. I don't know what to make of it. You've got it there, have you, Pete?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I've got to show it to you. It's Donald Trump, a very young Donald Trump, with his mum, Mary Ann Trump. Under the old yellowing newspaper photo, Mary Ann is quoted, you can probably see it here, is quoted as saying, "Yes, he is an idiot with 0 common sense and no social skills, but he is my son." Now, I don't know the context of that comment or the photo, but she went on to say, "I just hope he never gets into politics. He'd be a disaster." Now, I make no comment apart from telling you it's amazing how these things in this... No, it's not only that, it's just that things will come back to haunt you 60, 70 years after the event. Louise sent me that. Dear, I don't know where you found that, but I take it, Louise, you are not a Trump fan. How long have you been sitting on that? I don't know. Now, it may not be very dignified, but it was a great soap opera moment. The amazing public spat played out in real time. The bromance between President Trump and Elon Musk is well and truly over. Sort of. Maybe. Musk dropped the A-bomb, which is Trump is in the Epstein files. He may as well have said, just said, the president is a paedophile. Now, Trump did not rise to the debate. He just ignored the comment completely. But, you know, like the tariffs, on, off, again, insulting each other 1 minute, patching it up the next. Oh yes, the president is in high dudgeon. He says that he will sell the red Tesla, which is still parked, well, it was on Sunday anyway, still parked in the White House driveway. Well, good luck with that, sir. Second-hand EVs don't sell very well. Not much demand. But
got a flat battery.
well, the presidential EV may be different. I don't know. Maybe it's got some collectible value. Yeah. We're here for the Rising Sun. Ladies and gentlemen, our sponsors, the Rising Sun at 60 Bridge Street at Kensington, 8333-0721. Grant and Jackie are your host and hostess, and they will take care of you as they take care of everyone. It's a very personal, because it's small. When I say it's small, I suppose there's the main dining room, but there are probably about 5 areas that you can use, some smaller than others, but great for a product launch or a function of some kind, romantic dinner for 2, candle lit, with the glow of an open fire right there. I think they've got 3 or 4 open fires. Regularly chosen as the best pub or inn in South Australia, built back in 1845. 1845. Probably has a ghost as well. We haven't talked about that. And also Elder Fine Art Gallery in Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. They've got 4 auctions a year. They've just concluded one. They're beautiful buildings in Melbourne Street, 106 and 110 Melbourne Street, North Adelaide. Talk to Jim or his lovely wife Helen on 08, if you're out of town, 8267, 2869. 8267-2869. They're inviting people with notable paintings or paintings that could be notable. You can check it out. You can talk to Jim and he'll give you a free appraisal. The second of the auctions for this year will be coming up in a couple of months. Jim Elder, Elder Feinhardt. This is interesting. The Institute of Public Affairs. Now, Professor Plimer, a regular guest, in fact, we're lucky to have him every week on our Friday morning show around the dining room table, live streaming, jeremycordeaux.com, 9 to 12. We're very lucky to have him there most every Friday morning. He speaks very well of the Institute of Public Affairs. I know nothing about them, really. They're a think tank. But they've just released a survey which shows that 78% of those people surveyed say they like and support the Australian flag. Now, that is a huge slice of our population. Now, mind you, they didn't talk to everybody, but of the people surveyed, that's a very big survey. They also go on to say there should only be one flag. I found that interesting. No to the Aboriginal and the Torres Strait flags. Just one flag, one country, that survey showed. Well, there you go. With that mob in Canberra, it would seem that the majority simply don't matter. And I must tell you this, that story, Professor Plimer didn't give it to me. I found it, I'm not exactly sure where, but not widely reported. Doesn't fit the agenda. Doesn't fit the rhetoric. But that's partly why we do this posting on Facebook. And Andy Martin puts this show out on his... and I'm not sure how many podcasting platforms he's got, but there are quite a few of them. I'm sure you can Google it if you want to follow it up or pass it on to friends. And thank you for making this little thing that we do in the garage so popular. I had no idea, because we don't advertise it or promote it. It's just strictly word of mouth. Here's something that's pretty concerning. Also, you might not hear too much about this. It was out and about on the weekend a bit. 1 in 10 young children, some as young as 6, is on the NDIS. For God's sake, why? Is there a mad scramble to get children onto the NDIS? This is out of control. Is it corrupt? I know it's a criminal waste of money. 772,000 people are currently on the NDIS. 72% of the latest inductees, if I can call them that, 72% are 15 or younger. Get them young. Wow. I think these people are on some kind of recruitment drive. It has been growing by up to 25% a year, the NDIS. Their pledge now is to keep growth to under 10%. Are you saying that the number of people with a disability is growing by 10% a year? That's not possible. That's crazy stuff. Are you just trying to get as many people onto welfare as possible? And then you've got the disability support pension. Don't talk about that too much. But does one replace the other? I don't think so. They run in tandem, don't they? According to Gravity Research in the United States, they did a survey of the major companies who have in recent years become really, surprisingly woke. Anyway, when questioned, 55% of these major companies said that they will be scaling back any planned celebration of Gay Pride Month. I mean, why would a steelworks or a mining company or an aerospace company, what, I don't get the connection. But America, as in Australia, with the rainbow flags and all, it's reached a tipping point, like the welcome to country stuff. Enough is enough. In America, it may be that the corporates have noticed that the majority voted for Donald Trump and his dislike of woke. He made it quite clear that he thought that the whole diversity, equality and inclusion movement had gone far too far. I agree with that. Business has to be able to read the room. You know, the best person for the job. There should be no overriding, overarching rule that surpasses that. The best person for the job. Nothing matters apart from his or her ability. Pete, am I out of time?
No, you've got a couple of minutes, that's all.
Okay. Now this isn't going to stop traffic. What else stops? The presses. Mind you, I've never heard any newspaper bloke ever say, "Stop the presses! Hold the front page!" But it's a Hollywood invention, I suspect.
Apart from when Dunstan walked the jetty at Glenelg.
Well, did they get pictures of that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he was holding back
the tidal wave.
He was holding back the tidal wave. Now there was a man who knew how to read the room.
Great.
He also knew how to work the room.
He was fabulous.
Well, we here in Adelaide have got many precious little things. We're not sort of like Sydney and Melbourne. We're not brash. We don't go out and over promote ourselves. But here we have in our beautiful little city, which is very, very livable, a wonderful facility which is called the Mortlock Library. Don't know if you've ever had a chance to visit it. Probably the locals, maybe if you're an interstate visitor, it would be more likely that you'd visit it. We, being here, take it for granted, but we shouldn't. Check it out. Now, why I mention it is that for the second time, it has made the top of the list of the world's most beautiful libraries, competing with the best: New York, London, Paris, Rome. Quite amazing. It has, I don't know how to describe it to you. I wish I had a picture. It has the most beautiful, brilliant gallery, several levels, which you can walk up the stairs and walk around. Wonderful lighting, fantastic atmosphere. And I'm not even mentioning the collection of books. It is truly magic. And I'll leave you with this. Congratulations to the kangaroo preservation people. Pete and I love animals.
Yes, very much so.
How are the koalas up the road?
Haven't seen them for a couple of days.
Yeah, I think they'll probably be liking the weather. It's.
I might slip a photo in. A recent photo I took of the new baby.
Yes, no, do that. The kangaroo preservation people, they have an excellent television promotion on at the moment. When I say excellent, there are aspects of it that are shocking, very moving. There's nothing violent about it, but the comment they make is that, if I can get the quote right, kangaroos are the victims of the greatest wildlife slaughter in the world. Can you think of another society in the world who would slaughter its national emblem? I can't. And
and then eat it.
Yeah. People will say to me, well, we eat cattle and we eat pigs, and why wouldn't we eat kangaroos? I just find something quite wrong about that. And I would like to say hi or thank you to those people who are racing around the south coast of New South Wales at the moment trying to free a humpbacked whale who has her flipper caught in some rope pulling some 50 metres behind her as she struggles to free herself, a buoy floating behind her. Anyway, I hope to see tonight that these very brave people, because they are risking their lives to free that whale, because if they don't free the whale, it will, if it doesn't die, it'll have its life shortened significantly. So they're great people to do that. They're out there in bad weather trying to do a wonderful deed. So I salute you along with the King.
Absolutely.
Yes. The oceans are a major problem. Am I able to just do a few dates, Pete?
Yes.
All days are interesting. Let's see what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. June 10, 1770. British explorer Captain James Cook is the first European to discover the Great Barrier Reef off Australia. 1770. And he ran aground. Yeah, that's right, I remember that. He ran aground on the coral, causing the ship to leak. And they put this great big sort of bandage under it. They later took it to be repaired, but it was touch and go. 1985, Coca-Cola announces they're bringing back their 99-year-old formula. Why the hell did you scrap it in the first place? It's amazing what these... It's the 12-year-old in the marketing department. That's what it is. Oh, we got this very successful formula which people love. Let's get rid of that and we'll modernise it. Yeah. Robert Thomas obtains an English patent for a rubber tyre on this day. 1846 was the year. Saab produces its first automobile. Now it's got here 1947, but I would have thought, Gary, it would have been earlier than that.
No, that's correct, I think. That is correct.
Well, they used to make aeroplanes as well.
Yeah.
Mrs. Clements of England markets the first paste-style mustard in a jar. Wow, 1720 was the year. Now, how would anyone have the presence of mind to write that down? June 10, Mrs. Clements of England markets mustard in a jar. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh and consort to Great Britain's Queen Elizabeth II, was born in Greece, died 2021, born this day in 1921. A good life, well lived, sir. The first American log cabin at Fort Christina at Wilmington in Delaware. 1639. That is a log cabin that you and I would like to look at.
I would, yes.
I don't know if it's still there. Sammy Davis Jr. covers The Candyman by Anthony Newley and Leslie Bricusse from the film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, goes to #1. They say it's his biggest song, but I think Mr. Bojangles was his best song. 1972 that was. Judy Garland, American actress, Wizard of Oz, Meet Me in St. Louis, Easter Parade, Over the Rainbow. Born in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, died in 1969, but born this day in 1922. Great American actor Spencer Tracy, Woman of the Year, Father of the Bride. What's that other one he did? Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? He dies at just 67, in 1967. Benjamin Franklin tests the lighting conductor with his kite flying experiment. He was a great inventor, Benjamin Franklin, and a diplomat. 1752. He was America's first ambassador to Paris. And boy, in Paris, did he have fun. Patent for the window envelope was granted to H.F. Callan on this day in 1902. I hate those window envelopes because they're always bills.
Indeed.
It's always a bill.
Never a greeting from
No.
Carlo.
No. And the wonderful Ray Charles, American singer, pianist who pioneered soul music, Georgia on My Mind, Hit the Road Jack, dies at 72. But this is not right. I mean, he died on this day in 2004, yes. But his best album, his very best album, was called Ray Charles Sings the Modern Sounds of Country and Western Music. And he did a whole lot of Hank Williams songs, opened up a market for country music that had never been there before. I don't remember the year, but it would have been in the sort of late 60s, early 70s. We've got to go. Thank you so much for being with us in the Court of Public Opinion. We'll see you on Friday, 9 through 12, jeremycordo.com, around the dining room table. Lots of interesting guests. Thank you, guys.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. Bless you. Believe in yourself. And thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion.